Quiet Place, it is the latest horror film and it's directed by John Krasinski from The Office, that you guys may know him from. And it stars him and Emily Blunt and it's the younger actor that are playing their children. And A Quiet Place is about a family, husband and a wife and their kids live in this town where everything is quiet and deserted. But if they make a noise, like not even like a small noise, but a big, loud noise, they'll easily get snatched up by this giant Cloverfield-like monster. And that's the basic synopsis of this film. Seeing the advertisement and the marketing and the trailers for this film caught my interest to see what this movie is all about. Because the trailer don't really give this movie away too much. All you know is that people gotta be silent. If they don't, stuff will go down. And I love that the movie was marketed that way, because there are a lot of things in this movie that they did not give away in the marketing. And that was a very clever marketing idea for a movie like this, because A Quiet Place is definitely one of the most original horror movies I've seen since Get Out. And I know a lot of people don't view Get Out as a horror movie. It is pretty much more of a suspense thriller film. But in some ways, Get Out is pretty much a horror movie, a horror comedy to be exact. But A Quiet Place is one of those horror movies where we need more horror movies like this. Like horror movies from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s had original concept and ideas, and A Quiet Place is definitely bringing those type of horror movies back, which I like a lot, especially this coming from a director who's also starred in this movie. And I don't know if this is John Krasinski's directorial debut, but if it is, this is just again, Get Out all over again. I gotta give this dude a round of applause, because John Krasinski is a pretty underrated actor, and I liked him in The Office and so many other things he's been in. What really made this movie work a lot is that this movie kept me in suspense, it kept me on the edge of my seat, and it kept me interested throughout each scene, where they're like, oh, this person gonna die, or this person gonna die. And this movie also doesn't rely too much on jump scares, but when it does, it's needed and it's necessary. Because honestly, don't mind jump scares, but when it's overused a lot in horror movies, it gets annoying and it doesn't add to the scare factor. But for this movie, it does, and the jump scares are necessary when it's needed. And John Krasinski, again, did a fantastic job with that. And I know it's kind of, I wouldn't say weird, but really to praise the performances in this movie, because there's barely any dialogue in this film. There is dialogue in this movie, but when the dialogue is there, it is needed and it is necessary. It's not the fact that, oh, this movie's been silent for a quarter of the film, we need to add some dialogue in there. But when the dialogue is there, it adds a lot to the film, and it is very essential to the film. And the fact that these characters have to stay silent and they have to use sign language to interact with each other is very smart and very clever. And we need to see more movies like this. We need to see more movies like A Quiet Place and, like I said, Get Out, because this is a very smart horror film. Back to the performances in this film, John Krasinski does as great of a job as acting in this movie as he does for directing for this film, because he does a great and emotional performance, especially towards the end of this film, which I'm not going to spoil at all, because this is also a movie hard to talk about without spoiling, because there's a lot of things in this movie where I'm just like, whoa, I was not expecting that. And he does a great job acting in this movie, and Emily Blunt is great as always, so I don't really have to talk about her all that much. And the younger actors, their children, the young actors play their children, they do a great job as well. I know that child actors, especially in horror movies, aren't the greatest when it comes to acting, but these young kids do a fantastic job. And I gotta praise, again, John Krasinski for directing these young actors for their frightening performance, just their intensity and all the energy they put out in this movie. And John Krasinski, he put his sweat and tears while directing this movie. It's inspiring for me. Like I said before, this is a horror movie to talk about without spoiling, but towards the end of this movie, the ending almost confused me in a way. I'm not going to tell you what happened, and I feel like this is going to be one of those movies where later on down the road, people are gonna do like the A Quiet Place Explain or A Quiet Place Analyzation or Analyze video or essay or whatever one day down the road. And I'm actually thinking about doing that for this movie especially, because the ending, I have to rewatch this movie to figure out the ending because it almost confused me in a way. I get it, but at the same time I was like, wait a minute, what? So this, wait, what? It really tripped me up a bit, but I don't know if I could call that a negative, but in a way I'm still trying to figure out, okay, I'm lost here, what is going on? But it almost leads, but the ending also leads to your imagination or leads to your prediction or whatever, what happens next. Or just, or it's like you could just fill in the blanks what happens next. I honestly don't know what else to say more about A Quiet Place other than that it is a horror movie that has an original idea, an original concept, and a creative concept to be exact, from a guy who is known for comedy. And it's just like Get Out, because Jordan Peele is known for comedy, and he directed a movie like this. And it's also great to see that horror movie coming out now, most of them are getting such great reviews like Get Out and It. And hopefully we get more horror movies like this, because this is honestly looking to be a golden year for horror movies. I don't know, or the golden age for horror movies. I don't know, but it seems that horror movies are getting better now, and they're getting more creative. So yeah, A Quiet Place, I can't wait to watch the movie again, analyze it, and dig more deeper into it. And I can't wait to pick up that Blu-ray 4K. I'm gonna give A Quiet Place an A-. Thank you so much for watching, and if you've seen A Quiet Place, let me know what you think of it in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this movie, because we need to like spread the word that A Quiet Place is a fantastic horror film. And if you're new to my channel and you like this video, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.